morning, everyone. Say hello, Simon. Hello, buddy. How you doing, mister? Hi. So, folks, today is the day when I set up my new aquarium, the 25-gallon Innovative Marine Lagoon. I've been patiently waiting for this tank to arrive, and it arrived last night. Today it's Sunday, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I will be transferring all the contents, including livestock, from my current aquarium, which is the 20-gallon Innovative Marine Nuvo Fusion. Even with just a 5-gallon difference, the design of the lagoon provides for 5 more gallons. 5 gallons, but 5 more inches of depth, which will give my Clarkie clownfish more room to swim. The height drops only by 1 inch, but I believe that the water line in the lagoon will not be as close to the top as I am able to accomplish on the 20-gallon. Anyways, it's going to be a busy day. Over here I've built a couple new shelves for my stand, and I've used 2 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood. Nothing fancy, but very strong. And I have varathaned them on all sides, and of course I've painted the edges black. So I will be replacing the current shelf that's on my Singer sewing machine stand. And so it should be a good day, and we'll see how things go. Oh, over here is Bella. Hello, Bella. Bella wanted to say hello too. How you doing, cutie? You good girl? Yeah. Oh, the joys of draining the tank. So I've got a whole whack of buckets, 5-gallon, thankfully. They're quite useful. And as you can see here, I've got my 2 big rocks with coral sitting in aquarium water. So no need to worry about the salinity or other parameters. You can see blue-green chromos in there, my single one there. And so because this is going to turn around fairly quickly, I hope, I don't have any aeration or water flow or heat in there at the moment. If I get stalled for some reason, I'll implement a heater and some water flow. And down here are my 2 Clarkies. They're like, huh? What's going on? First thing in the morning, got some sunrise, but what the heck? Where's everything? So I'm going to transfer them soon. See, the siphon here is draining the remaining water. I have yet to unpack the lagoon. I'm a bit limited for space, that's why I'm just letting it sit in the box for now. And I have to figure out where I am going to place the 20-gallon. And I've also got to place take the shelf off and put the new ones on. So I've got a little bit of work. So right now the least painless stuff is taking place. So just so for those that don't know, there are some slight differences between the 20-gallon and the Lagoon 25-gallon. One being the thickness of the glass. The thickness of the Starfire glass on the 20-gallon is 6 millimeter, which is very decent. It's a well-constructed tank, no doubt. The Lagoon has thicker glass. It's 8 mil, which is interesting, but everything else is stock. It's still the same as what's in the 20-gallon. The same stock pump, surprisingly, even though there's 5 additional gallons. And I've read online that a lot of people aren't that crazy about the stock pump, so maybe time to upgrade. I could maybe use two pumps that I have now. So I'm going to see what I've got going on. I do have another pump that I purchased a while ago from a guy that was selling off I think it was a 32-gallon BioCube, never used pump. So if I can get that to work, I may utilize that. I just have to check out the specs. And kitty cats are being very helpful, as they always are. Things are still going well. I decided to implement a little pump and heater into the holding bucket right away, just to reduce any stress I may be experiencing in the back of my mind without really realizing it. The heater just turned off, so I know that the temperature is stable. I'm going to stick a thermometer in there just to check in on occasion while I'm working. Most of the water is now drained from the 20 gallon. Still got a ways to go, and have to implement another bucket somewhere. Anyways, so far so good. The 20 gallon Nuvo Fusion is now drained of its water and inhabitants. And now the hard work begins, because now I need to remove the remaining tubing for the canister filter below, down there, and get the pump out and remove it off this stand, assemble the new shelvings, and of course unbox the lagoon and put it on the stand. So moving right along, I've removed the 20 gallon off the Singer stand, as you can see. That shelf here will need to be removed. It is actually screwed into the top of the stand. The stand itself has 4 posts, as you can see here. So I will need to remove those screws and nuts. I think I've just got washers, and get the new shelving set up, which will entail my measuring to make sure that it's placed in its center on the stand. I may attach the 2 shelves together. I was advised that 1 shelf would be sufficient, so I'm undecided at this point whether I'm going to go with both or just the 1. Stay tuned for that. As you can see, the kitties have been supervising, and Bella's taking a snack break. She's been working very hard supervising me. Yeah, what would I do without them, right? What would we do without our pets, including our fish? Alright, so stay tuned. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention the stand sitting on the angle that it's at was great for the 20 gallon. However, with the 25 gallon Lagoon, because of its increased depth, it would stick out too far into the room to remain on that angle. Mainly because there's a hallway here to the left. So it would be dangerous. And it would scare the fish with it's a fairly high traffic area being a hallway. So I'm going to reposition the stand so that it's flush with that left wall there. And while I'm at it, I'm going to re-level the stand with some shims. It was off ever so slightly previously, a few millimeters, maybe 3 millimeters, I would think. And of course you want a stand to be level on all planes to reduce any stress on the tank itself, which could result in leaks down the road. So I'll be taking advantage of this opportunity to do that. All right, upwards and onwards. So things are going well with the setup. Right now I'm in the process of leveling my tank, the tank stand, and I wanted to give you a very useful and important tip. I can't stress enough how crucial it is that your stand, your aquarium stand, be level. It can't be off. It should not be off at all. The reason being, as I may have mentioned earlier, is that a US gallon of water weighs roughly about 10 pounds. So even with a small nano tank like the Lagoon 25 gallon, that's equivalent to 250 pounds. That's quite a bit of weight of liquid that you're holding in a glass box that has livestock in it. So if you consider, if your levels are off a little bit, that will cause undue stress on the ceiling points of your aquarium, which are typically held together by silicone. So take the time to properly level your stand. Now the point of all this, and why I'm just focusing here on this long level, is that's what you want to use. Use the longest level you can get your hands on. If you only have a 6-inch plastic one, don't use it. Get a longer one. A long level like this has a bit of weight to it, and it's more accurate, and it's also more useful, as shown here. So you can see the width of my Singer stand is 24 inches, and it easily sits on either post, diagonal being the longest distance between the two. And it also gives me a very accurate reading of the levels because of its length. So here, if I check this angle, I'm checking this the first time with you, so I can get focus here. You can see I'm good. You can see that bubble on the bottom bar is centered. If I take the level, and I put it in the front, left to right, you can see here that it's level. So that's good. However, when I move it front to back, and we check our levels here, you can see it's off. The bubble is forward, which means that the rear of the stand is too low. I will need to use shims to increase the height in the back to make the stand level. So that'll be the next step. So be mindful of that when setting up your levels. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so the Innovative Marine Lagoon 25 gallon is now situated on top of the Singer sewing machine stand. Look at the depth of this tank. It's 20 inches. A lot of room there for coral placement, for fish to swim. The height is about 11.8 inches, and across it's about 23.6 inches, if memory serves. I should mention that the tank and the stand are now leveled. I had to check 2-3 times and readjust. So you'll see here, and sorry for the mess of the food containers on their sides, but you'll see a shim there, and in the back I use glass shims, what I had available. It's completely level now within about a 1/2 millimeter. So it's pretty stable. Everything should be fine. Inside the aquarium, I don't know if I'll have enough light here, but the pump is there, and what I did is I replaced it. I swapped it out with a slightly stronger pump than the stock one that came with the tank. So I'll have the Innovative Marine pump as a backup, which is excellent. I didn't really want to use 2 of those pumps at the same time. It would be too much water flow. So we are good to start filling her up. Let's get her done. All right, so it's about 2:45 in the afternoon, and the lagoon is up and running. Pretty sweet. Parameters look pretty stable. I just need to double check my salinity. Temperature is a couple degrees cooler than normal, but I've got 2 very hardy Clarkie clownfish, so I think they should be fine. It shouldn't stress them. My little blue-green chromos is swimming around as well. I'll keep an eye on them, make sure I don't see any white spots in the next couple of days, which would not be a good thing. But otherwise, I think it went fairly well. Just have to do some cleanup now, and I'll give you a closer view.